Almost 60% of the 125 million pesos in confidential funds allocated to the OVP in 2022. Equally significant is the fact that this amount was indicated to have been fully spent over the period of 11 days. Wala pang kalahating buwan, naubos na daw ang 125 million, supposedly to fund surveillance of 132 areas. This amounts to 11 million pesos spent per day for these surveillance activities conducted over the holidays. Lumalabas po, mahigit 11 million po sa isang araw ang ginagastos po nila surveillance activities. Kasama na po dito ang Pasko.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, the Honorable Deputy Speaker, G. Suarez.
just some admin matters. I noticed there are new faces present with us today. Thank you for your attendance in today's hearings. However, insofar as this is a continuation of the hearing last week and there are new faces, can I just ask if our new guests have taken their oath?
Okay, since last hearing, yung mga representative po ng ibang departamento ay nakapagbigay na rin po ng kanilang mga statements. Yung mga hindi pa po, kagaya po ng DepEd at saka ng Bureau of Treasury, would you like to say something? May mga ready po ba kayong statement para gusto po ninyong sabihin dito sa committee?
Mr. Chair.
We will recognize you. Sino pong gusto magsimula? DepEd, from DepEd po.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, the Honorable Congressman Acop is recognized.
thank you. May I know from the COMSEC if we have invited Attorney Zulaika Lopez, Attorney Limuel Ortonio, Madam Julieta Villa del Rey, Kevin Jerome Tenido, Attorney Rosalyn Sanchez, and Madam Gina F. Acosta. Have we invited them in the last hearing, Mr. Chair?
COMSEC?
Good morning, Your Honor. Thank you for the recognition. We have not invited them in the previous hearing, particularly only Ms. Gina F. Acosta and Ms. Julieta Villa del Rey. However, the invitation sent to them dated September 20, 2024 included only from the names mentioned by Congressman Acop, Rosalyn L. Sanchez, and Ms. Gina F. Acosta, and Ms. Julieta Villa del Rey. I was informed that they are not present today, Your Honor.
They're not present today,
Oh, Your Honor.
and they were sent invitations to attend this hearing.
Yes, actually, Your Honor, the content of the invitation was addressed to Vice President Duterte, stating that the committee formally invites the attendance of the following officials and employees of the Office of the Vice President, and thereafter a list of employees from the OVP amounting to 17 employees, Your Honor.
May I move that since they were invited and did not appear in this hearing, may I move, Mr. Chair, that we issue a show cause order pursuant to our protocol to the people who were invited but did not come to attend this hearing. So move, Mr. Chair.
Seconded.
Your Honor,
Comsec.
may I please correct my previous statement? Attorney Lemuel Ortonio was also invited in the previous invitation dated for the hearing September 18. He was again invited in the September 2024 invitation.
I just wanted to be informed of the situation wherein I was able to watch the some commotion of the members of the committee, and what I've learned is the problem of the rules that will govern this committee. Can I be clarified or be informed of what really rules that will govern our committee hearing?
18 September 2024, whether we would follow the rules of Procedure governing proceedings in this committee. And there was also an issue raised that what we should follow should be the rules, the House Rules of Procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation. Kung matatandaan po ninyo, kung nanood po kayo, si Honorable Rodante Marcoleta questioned a provision of the committee rules which allegedly we did not follow. Yun po yung dahilan. But if we look at the issue at hand, Mr. Chair, I have here, I prepared a manifestation regarding this issue para ma-satisfy o ma-clarify natin kung ano talaga dapat ang rules na masunod natin. May I be allowed to manifest, Mr. Chair?
Please continue, Congressman
Yeah.
Acop.
Considering that the rules of procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation was adopted subsequent to the rules of procedure governing proceedings before the Committee on Good Governance, this humble representation believes that it is the former that must govern and not the latter. This is the basic rule. Section 21, Article 6 of our Constitution states that inquiries in aid of legislation must be made in accordance with the duly published rules of procedure. I would like to repeat that, Mr. Chair. Duly published rules of procedure of Congress. In other words, the rules of procedure that this committee will follow are those rules of procedure that have been duly published in the official gazette. Following this constitutional mandate, Mr. Chair, this committee is mandated to follow the House Rules of Procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation, which was approved by the plenary and published on 2 June 2023 in the official gazette. On the other hand, as to the internal rules of this committee, I understand that this has not been published. In this regard, the Supreme Court in Garciliano versus the House of Representatives Committee on Public Information, GR numbers 170338 and 179275 in the year 2008, emphasized that Congress cannot use unpublished rules of procedure in the conduct of its legislative inquiry. This is not to say that the adoption of the internal committee rules was wrong, as this provided guidance to the committee in the conduct of inquiries in aid of legislation, especially considering that at the time we adopted the internal rules, the House Rules of Procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation has not yet been approved, adopted, or published. So, Mr. Chair, having said that, I think I have the duty to move and submit a motion for this committee to confirm for clarity that it is the House Rules of Procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation which governs this proceeding and not the committee rules. Mr. Chair?
What? Article 6?
Yes.
Article 6.
So, for that matter, before we take action on this matter, can I be clarified on something that is very important, considering that I think the good gentleman from Antipolo have said that on August 2022, the rules of the good government and public accountability have adopted a rule that will govern them. And the House of Representatives on May 2023, as the good gentleman have mentioned, have adopted and published the said rules. Having said those element of time that transpired, no, from August 2022 to May 2023, and considering that the good government adopted that rules, what happened to the resolutions and privileged speeches that was delivered and was referred and undergone the procedure of preliminary determination by the committee and the order of preliminary determination that was conducted by the committee. Will it suffice to say that those hearings that were conducted must be stricken out of the committee records?
Noong wala pa pong na-approve na House Rules on Inquiry, ang ginagamit po natin ay yung internal rules which was approved by the committee. Yun po. But when the House Rules governing legislative inquiry by Congress was approved, then it already superseded yung ating internal rules. That is the stand of this representation, Your Honor.
Basahin po natin yung Section 18 ng ating internal rules dito po sa in aid of legislation. Sabi po dito, the committee tasked to conduct an inquiry may adopt internal rules of procedure. Ang ginamit pong word dito is may. So ibig pong sabihin dito, hindi po tayo obligado. Pwede po natin gamitin yung internal rules of procedure natin. Pero, hindi po tayo obligado. So, ano pong ibig sabihin? Ang talagang obligado po talaga tayo dito ay ang gamitin natin, ito pong House Rules na pinasa po sa plenaryo at duly published. Dahil yun po, pag hindi po natin ginamit yun po ay magiging inconsistent po sa ating saligang batas.
One point of information as well, Mr. Chairman, because I'm trying to look at it right now, that these rules that was adopted by the good government is somehow redundant, repetitive, and I think it is preposterous, considering that we have established under our own rules a committee on rules that establish the determination, preliminary determination. We have 30 members on the Committee on Rules. And all the resolutions, all the privileged speeches that are being delivered on the plenary are being referred to the Committee on Rules. And one of the function of the Committee of Rules is to determine if there is a present of being referred to that specific committee. And in that case, Mr. Chairman, I believe that this representation believes that making a rule that is inconsistent with the rules that is being adopted by the plenary is somehow well, it's not abusive, it's not arbitrary, but somehow will have this House of Representatives spend so much effort, time, and resources for that matter. Kaya I think, Mr. Chairman, I submit to the position of this body, especially of Chairman Acop and the Chairman of this committee. Maraming salamat po sa impormasyon.
There any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried. We will now confirm that it is the House Rules of Procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation that will govern in these proceedings. Okay? Settled na po yan. We will now proceed to the interpellation proper. But before we proceed, this humble representation is in receipt of a letter dated September 23, 2024 from the Office of the Vice President, which was signed by the Honorable Vice President Zara Z. Duterte. This letter was received on September 25. This is duly noted. We will now proceed to the interpellation proper. The first to interpellate meron na po pala akong list dito. Kung sino pa po ang gustong magpalista, lumapit lang po sa COMSEC para po sa ating para maging maayos po yung ating interpellation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, consistent with the motion that was approved by the House, by the committee, which states that the rules that the committee will adopt will be the rules of procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation as adopted by the plenary.
Yes.
And
And
consistent
duly published.
and duly published, yes. And consistent with that motion, Mr. Chair, during the last hearing, there was a question raised by a non-member in the person of Honorable colleague Congressman Dante Marcoleta. And as I understand, non-members of the committee may not make any motions in the committee, in the proceedings. And while the jurisdictional issue was raised via a manifestation by Representative Marcoleta, it was a motion which ended with a request that this committee terminate its proceedings. May I know the action of the committee, Mr. Chair?
It was denied, considering that Congressman Marcoleta is not a member of this committee, hence he cannot raise a motion.
So therefore, the motion of Congressman Marcoleta
Out of order.
is ruled out of order.
Yes.
So was there any motion for reconsideration on that particular
Wala po.
decision?
Wala po, dahil hindi naman po siya member eh.
Okay.
In the first place, wala po siyang locus standi to present a motion.
So it is clear that a non-member of the committee may not or cannot make any motion
And he cannot even vote.
and he cannot even vote.
Tama po.
Okay. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Yes, please proceed, Congressman Acop.
Yes. Now, since the rule read by the Honorable Barbers stated that non-members of this committee may not make any motions, and we had a non-member state a motion, the question is, what should we do with the motion? I said, it's out of order. Now, are we not supposed to move to strike it out of the minutes, Mr. Chair?
Is there any motion? Do I hear a motion?
I think it is incumbent upon us to have a motion to strike it out from the records of this committee because this will take a bad precedent, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
So I move that we strike out the motion that was delivered and manifested by Congressman Marcoleta.
Is there any second to the motion?
Second.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Attorney Camora from COA, please proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. As to confidential intelligence and confidential funds, we do not issue any audit reports, just the audit actions, Mr. Chair.
Audit action.
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
Chair.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Now, when was the confidential fund in the amount of 125 million transferred to the office of the Vice President?
Mr. Chair, the fund was received on December 20, 2022, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Thank you. Now, on 25 September 2023, according to reports, kayo po ay nag-confirm, maybe because of reports, na galing po sa Office of the Vice President na the amount of 125 million confidential funds was spent in 11 days?
Mr. Chair, based on their liquidation reports, opo.
Kayo po ang nagsabi nito in your report.
Wala pong report, Mr. Chair, but audit action po.
Oh, it's an audit action. At
Yes,
kinukonfirm
Mr.
nyo
Chair.
na yung amount na 125 million was spent by the Office of the Vice President in 11 days. And that would be amounting to 11.3 thereabouts million per day. Would that be correct? Tama po ba yun?
Mr. Chair, may I ask for the question to be repeated?
Ano po? Uulitin ko po.
Opo.
Ah, kayo po nagko-confirm na in-spend in your liquidation in the liquidation report that was submitted to you, kayo po nag-confirm na in 11 days naubos po yung 125 million confidential funds. Tama po.
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
And that is equivalent to spending 11.3 million a day if it was spent, or if the amount was spent in 11 days. Tama po rin po.
Tama po, Mr. Chair. Based on
Yes.
their documents po.
And yung 11 days na yon ay nung panahon na from 21 to 31 ng December 2022. Would that also be correct? O tama po ba yun?
Based on their accomplishment report, tama po, Mr. Chair.
And that is at the height of the holiday season, matatapos na po yung taon, di po ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
At lahat po ng ahensya ng gobyerno nagmamadali na ma-spend yung kanilang pera na nasa kanilang opisina. Di po ba? Kasi ang nangyayari po, hindi ba, kung minsan, December 31, pinapaspasan po ng mga opisina ng gobyerno ang pag-liquidate po ng mga pondo na nasa kanila. Hindi po ba tama yun? Alam ko po yun dahil naging controller po ako ng Philippine National Police noong Chief PNP si Senator Lacson at yun ang nangyayari eh. Kayo po ang sasagot, hindi na po siya.
That's correct po, Your Honor.
Yes.
Paki-address niyo po yung chair sa at antayin niyo po na recognize kayo. You are Miss Sofia Gemora.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, please continue.
Kasi minamadali po nila ng mga ehensya dahil if you notice, yung buwan ng Disyembre, normally it has four non-working holidays. So, 4 na ang nabawas sa 11 days para gastusin mo. Tama rin po ba?
If I may add, Your Honor, to what Attorney Camora had said earlier, with regards to the 11 days report of our audit team, we are the audit team of the Office of the Vice President. So, looking at the records or the recording in the financial statements, we found out that the cash advance was drawn on December 20, 2022. And on December 31, looking at the financial statements, there was an expenditures recorded of the same amount, the 125 million. So that was the reason why we, of course, it's correct to say that that was the 125 million was expended in 11 days. Your Honor.
Thank you, Madam. Now, because of this, the COA issued a notice of disallowance dated 8 August 2024, this allowing the amount of 73,287,000 from the 125 million confidential funds disbursed by the Office of the Vice President in 2022. Tama rin po ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Now, may I know kung ano po yung mga dahilan po ninyo bakit nag-issue po kayo ng notice of disallowance doon po sa expenditure on confidential funds by the Office of the Vice President? Pwede po bang malaman yung rason po ninyo?
Attorney Gamora.
Mr. Chair, our reasons were indicated po at the ND. I'd like to make a rundown po. Yung may issue po sa payment of rewards nila, may issue sa payment of charging payment for tables, chairs, desktop computers, and printers to the confidential fund, and also a non-submission of the revised accomplishment report, Mr. Chair.
Yun po yung official reason why you COA issued a notice of disallowance. Tama rin po.
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Now, may I ask, meron po siguro kayong breakdown ng expenditure of the confidential funds. Meron po ba kayo?
Mr. Chair, meron po sa accomplishment report.
Yes, and yung breakdown po ng expenditure ng 125 million, nasa inyo po sigurado yon. Tama rin po.
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Now, may I know kung saan po nagastos ng Office of the Vice President yung 125 million? Was it spent in accordance with the rules, regulations, and protocol on the expenditure or on the use of confidential funds? Nasunod po ba yun?
Yes, Mr. Chair. As indicated sa accomplishment report po, na-liquidate naman po nila based on confidential expenses as required by the joint circular po, Mr. Chair.
If I may, alam naman po ninyo yung section 4.8 of Joint Circular number 2015-01
Yes, Mr.
on the
Chair.
use of confidential funds.
Opo, Mr. Chair.
Now, categorically, yung po bang items na kung saan ginamit yung confidential funds ay naaayon po dito sa circular na ito?
Opo, Mr. Chair.
Kung naaayon sa circular na ito, bakit kayo nag-issue ng notice of disallowance?
Mr. Chair, as to yung first finding, meron po kasing specific requirement ang joint circular na document na hindi po nila na-submit or nag-submit sila pero hindi po sufficient siya to answer the requirement of the joint circular, Mr. Chair.
Na-mention kanina ni Chairman, the Honorable Joel Chua, na in the accomplishment report of the President, if I remember it right, meron pong ginamit na, yung surveillance in 132 places. Tama po ba, Mr. Chair? Yung
Areas po yun.
narinig ko na yun.
132 areas po.
Yes.
Yung 125 million, parang ginamit po yan in 132 areas.
Yes, and accordingly, it was 100% compliance. Hindi po ba sa tingin ng COA, medyo kwan ito? Medyo imposible?
Mr. Chair, parang based on other, parang okay lang naman po siya.
Kami po ay gumagamit din po ng intelligence fund. Nanggaling po ako sa service At alam ko na mahirap gawin ito. I will conduct surveillance in 132 areas in 11 days. Tapos kayo ngayon sa COA, sinasabi ninyo na posible pala ito. Samantalang kami on the ground na gumagawa nito noong ako'y nasa serbisyo, nahihirapan po kami. So, what is your basis na pwedeng sabihin na posible ito, Madam COA?
Mr. Chair, there are also deficiencies here.
No, tinatanong ko lang po kayo kasi sa mata po ng COA, yung mag-conduct ka ng surveillance activities in 132 areas in 11 days, para sa amin po na gumagawa nito in our use of intelligence funds, no, ako po yung nasa servisyo, nahirapan po kami Tapos sa mata pala ninyo, posible pala ito. Tama po ba yung aking kaisipan?
Mr. Chair, ang identified lang po ay number of areas, pero pwede din pong i-consider yung kung ilan po yung kung ilang tao po yung pinag-spendan ng funds, Mr. Chair.
But the liquidation report does not say so.
Yes, Mr. Chair, but
Inassume na lang ninyo yun eh.
Mr. Chair, meron po silang submitted na mga documentary evidence.
Okay. Mr. Chair, those would be the questions that I would ask, I have asked from COA. Yun po yung aking nihanda. The others would pertain to Madam Gina F. Acosta. So, marami pong salamat, Mr. Chair, for the opportunity to interpolate. Thank you.
Thank you po, Congressman Acop. The next interpellator is the Honorable Congressman Rolando Valeriano.
Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair? Quick question.
Congressman Ortega, with the indulgence of Congressman Valeriano, the Chair would like to recognize Congressman Ortega.
Mr. Chair, I've noticed that there are some employees and from the Office of the Vice President who are here. Are we gonna sit them as a resource person, or they just going to sit around the hall, Mr. Chair?
I was informed a while ago that the spokesman of the Vice Mayor is Vice President is representing the DepEd, not the Office of the Vice President. But I was told by the COMSEC that a while ago, the OVP Chief of Staff, Attorney Solueta Lopez, supposedly is present today, but could not be located as of now. May I know if Attorney Solueta Lopez is here inside the Zulaika. Sorry. If Attorney Zulaika Lopez is present in this
Mr.
hearing.
Chairman, I think Yusek Powa is the spokesperson of the Vice President. Maybe he can answer on your query, considering that he knows all about the OVP.
Yes, would you like to please join us?
Mr. Chairman, good morning.
Yes,
good morning to the members
morning,
of the
Yusek
committee.
Powa.
I have not seen Yusek Zulaika since I arrived this morning. And to be very honest with you, I do not know if she was even here today. But I don't think she's with us at the moment. For the OVP matters, let me just manifest, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, that I only joined OVP po kasi itong August.
Okay.
So, and only as a spokesperson, I am only a consultant in the Office of the Vice President as her spokesperson. So, sa totoo lang po, I will not be competent to answer any questions as regards yung operations pa po talaga ng OVP at this point, Your Honors.
Mr. Chairman, if
Yes,
I may,
Congressman
was he
Fernandez.
not given authority to answer some queries from this committee?
Do you have any authority from
Mr.
the
Chair,
Office of the Vice
I-
President?
Mr. Chair, I was not given po any authority today. I am appearing today because part of the invitations given to the DepEd family also included my name. So that is the only reason why I decided to appear po today before you.
Okay. Okay po ba sa inyo yan? Okay, we will now proceed to the... But before I recognize Congressman Valeriano, the Chair would like to recognize the presence of Honorable Clarice Ann Hernandez of the Lone District of Calamba City. Good morning po, ma'am. And Congressman Kit Flores. Yes, good morning po. Congressman Valeriano, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a bit background lang po. Last August 13, 2024, yung House Committee on Appropriation issue a subpoena duces tecum requiring the COA to submit dito po sa amin sa House Committee ng audit report on the confidential fund ng OVP and the DepEd for the years 2022 and 2023. Pero after nun, a letter dated August 21 or 6 days before the House Committee on APRO was scheduled to hear, the OVP, through its Undersecretary and Chief of Staff, Attorney Lopez, advised COA against complying with the subpoena duces tecum. So, yung katanungan ko po sa COA, Commission on Audit, kay Ms. Martha Rosal. Ma'am, wala po yata si Honorable Cordoba?
He's not.
Okay, sa inyo na lang po, ma'am. Kung maalala niyo po, meron pong subpoena duces tecum requiring the COA to submit to the House Committee in regards to sa report ng confidential pa ng OVP and the DepEd for the year 2022 and 2023. Tama po?
Your Honor, Mr. Chair,
Please
Your
wait to
Honor.
be recognized. Ms. Martha Roxanne Sese, you are recognized.
Yes. Mr. Chair, Your Honor, may I request for a repetition of the question, please?
Nakatanggap po kayo ng subpoena duces tecum requiring the COA, kayo po, to submit to the House Committee the audit report on the confidential fund ng OVP and the DepEd para sa taong 2022 and 2023. Tama po? Yung letter po is dated August, I think 13, 2024. August 21. Tama.
Your Honor, may I please refer first to the legal services sector representative because I am not privy to that very document.
May I know who will answer? Attorney Camora, please answer.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Nakatanggap po kami ng subpoena.
Yan. Yung August 21, 2024, you received a letter from the OVP directly to Chairperson Cordoba. And it was personal. Ang sinasabi po ron, kung maalala nyo, pinipigilan ang COA na mag-release ng details. Tama po?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Sino po ang nag-receive ng letter?
Mr. Chair, sa Office of the Chairperson po.
Sa Office of the Chair. Binigay po ba, anyway, wala si Chairman pero baka kaya niya pong sagutin. Binigay po ba kaagad ito personally kay Chairman Cordoba or dinaan pa sa kanyang mga staff?
Mr. Chair, hindi ko po alam kung kailan nabigay kay Chairperson pero na-receive po ng ICFAO ng office namin and then we elevated po the matter to the Chairperson.
Yes. Ano po ang naging aksyon ng COA in regards to that letter?
We complied with the subpoena duces tecum, Mr. Chair.
So, ang discretion po kung lawful at reasonable ang pag-comply sa mga subpoena or kung lawful excuse not to comply ay tanging tama po, nasa inyo, nasa COA lang?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, pong COA rules.
Yeah, at bilang constitutional independent body, hindi po maaring diktahan basta-basta ang COA. Tama po?
Being an independent body, tama po, Mr. Chair.
Lalo na po kung ito'y in relation to the constitutional duties ng COA, gaya ng pag-o-audit sa ahensya ng kahit anong government agency. Tama po?
Tama naman po, Mr. Chair.
Under the presumption of regularity, ang COA ay kailangan mag-comply sa mga subpoena as a matter of course. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
So, did the COA reply?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We replied to the subpoena duces tecum.
Okay. Nagkaroon po ba ng exchange of correspondence na sagutan yung OVP tsaka yung COA in regards po doon sa request nila?
Mr. Chair, parang wala na pong response po.
So, sinunod nyo po ba yung directive ng OVP not to comply with the subpoena?
Mr. Chair, hindi po. Ang nag-comply po kami is yung sa subpoena to system.
So ang COA po ay sumunod sa subpoena because they agree that Congress does have the power to subpoena these documents. Correct?
Mr. Chair, our rules also allows us to comply to subpoena to system and other lawful orders po.
Yes. Ang COA ay sumunod sa subpoena dahil ito ay in-issue batay sa power to conduct legislative inquiries ng Congress. Tama po ba?
Yeah, tama po, Mr. Chair.
And COA likewise agrees that the audit of the confidential funds, which are government funds, are matters of public concern. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
Tama.
In terms of audit po, Mr.
Yeah.
Chair, tama po.
And the public has the right to know paano po ginagastos ang pera ng bayan. Di po ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
And likewise, ang Kongreso ay may obligasyon. Kami po dito na siguruhin ang pera ng bayan ay ginagastos po sa tamang paraan. Tama po?
We submit po sa ano po.
And when the COA complied with the subpoena, ano po ba yung response ng OVP, ng Office of the Vice President? Did the OVP reach out to COA again?
Mr. Chair, wala po akong alam na nagbigay po sila ng further requests or
Or letter?
Letters.
Nagpadala ba sila ng communication again? Hindi na po?
wala na po, Mr. Chair.
Were further attempts made by the OVP to force or compel COA not to comply with the subpoena, even a phone call or what?
Wala naman po. I'm not aware of any letter or any communication po.
Okay. Thank you, Madam. Sa OVP po, meron bang pwedeng sumagot? Wala talaga si Atty. Lopez? Comsec, how about Atty. Lemuel G. Ortoño?